How's it going? Welcome to another episode of the Hellhound Show. Today I'll be doing another book review, that is Spider-Man, The Vengeance of Venom. Yeah, a graphic novel. Well, not so much a graphic novel, more a collection of different comic books featuring one of Spidey's greatest arch enemies. I mean, we can all agree that Venom's definitely one of Spidey's greatest foes that he's ever faced. He's probably my third favorite, next to Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus. And yeah, this is just a fantastic read. But before reading this one, I would definitely recommend starting with Spider-Man: The Birth of Venom. This one collects all the issues leading up to Venom's creation, when Spider-Man was wearing the black suit, which turned out to be an alien symbiote. This contains excerpts from the Secret Wars series, where Spidey first obtained the suit, and then, you know, it's all kinds of issues of the Amazing Spider-Man when he's getting used to it and discovering all its unique abilities, before finding out that it has a life of its own and that's trying to bond with them. Then he gets rid of it for a while, but then it returns in the very first issue of Web of Spider-Man, also contained in this this compilation, before he finally gets rid of it completely, and then it merges with Eddie Brock, creating Venom. Yeah, lots of great illustrations by Todd McFarlane in this one. As far as I know, he was the first person to ever draw Venom, and so his great influence just can't be denied. But anyway, yeah, this is I'm going to be reviewing Vengeance of Venom, which I think contains much better stories, featuring the character. Birth of Venom is definitely a must-read, though, before you get into this one. Yeah, this one basically starts with Venom escaping from the vault where he was imprisoned at the end of when we last saw him. He repeatedly escapes, caused all kinds of trouble for Spidey. The back of the book says Venom's back and he's not alone. And from the picture, it would suggest that Spidey has to fight Venom and Carnage teamed up. But really, Spidey, okay, let me back up a little bit. When Eddie Brock escaped from prison, and the symbiote came back for him, and he became Venom again, the symbiote spawned an offspring, which became the Carnage symbiote, which bonded with Cletus Cassidy, creating Carnage. Cletus Cassidy was a vicious, sadistic, psychopathic serial killer who just has no respect for human life at all. He doesn't value human life. He just wants to kill people and cause chaos. He has no conscience whatsoever. What's interesting about Venom is that he has a very twisted sense of morality. He's all about protecting the innocent. He's only really after Spider-Man. He just holds a grudge against him because Spider-Man, Peter Parker, ruined Eddie Brock's journalism career when they exposed... Brock wrote an article, The Sin Eater, a person who confessed to those murders, the Sin Eater murders. Turned out it was actually somebody else, and Spider-Man exposed that, leading Eddie to lose his job. He was contemplating suicide, and as soon as Spidey got rid of the black symbiote suit, it merged with Brock, creating Venom, as I already explained. But yeah, he has holds a grudge against Spider-Man. He just wants him dead, but he believes in protecting innocence, and he believes he himself was innocent, and Spider-Man's pretty much stole his innocence from him, essentially. And so there's one really cool part where Spider-Man and Venom are fighting, and like a baby is knocked, almost falls into the river, and you see a spiderweb catcher, and it's actually Venom that takes the baby and says, "It's okay, little one," and saves its life. He's all about protecting innocence. So when Carnage comes along, mercilessly slaughtering several innocent people, just taking life just for the fun of it, Spidey's forced to team up with Venom to fight Carnage. When Carnage comes along, which is very interesting. That's definitely the highlight for me reading this book was seeing the birth of Carnage, and then seeing Spidey forced to team up with Carnage. Venom. Spidey teaming up with Venom to fight Carnage is what I meant to say. That was just really cool, seeing them form an alliance, putting their differences aside. What happened was they actually fought on an island, and Spidey faked his death. Venom found some bones along with the costume, and he thought that he killed Spider-Man successfully, and so he was just content to live out the island. His vengeance was fulfilled. He was happy. And then Spider-Man had to reveal that he was still alive, and they had a new common enemy in Carnage. And so, they formed an alliance to try and stop this new menace, which is a lot more powerful than Venom. He can form, weapons and stuff from his suit. I don't think Venom couldn't really create a solid weapon, though he can mimic different clothing and stuff, just like Spidey could when he had the suit. Yeah, that was definitely the highlight for me. It's just awesome seeing Spider-Man and Venom teaming up. I would love to see that in a movie. If they did it perfectly, they'd have one movie where Spidey has the black suit, and then he discovers it's an alien symbiote, gets rid of it. Next movie features Venom, and the next movie after that has Carnage as the villain, with Spider-Man and Venom teaming up to fight Carnage. I think that would just be awesome. I wasn't very pleased with what they did in Spider-Man 3 with the Venom character. Topher Grace wasn't right for the part. He definitely wasn't big or bulky enough. Venom's supposed to be... Eddie Brock's supposed to be really muscular and just hulking. He's supposed to be very intimidating. He's supposed to be a lot stronger than Spider-Man. And Topher Grace was built just like Tobey Maguire, so it didn't really work. He looked pretty cool, though, but he wasn't in it enough. That character needs a lot more than 15 minutes that he got to really do it justice. But yeah, the story I already mentioned where they're fighting on the island and Spider-Man fakes his death, and then the one where Spider-Man and Venom team up to fight Carnage are definitely the best comics in this collection. I actually used to own a lot of the comics featured here, and I read them a lot during the 90s. I probably still have them around here somewhere. They're just in a box, buried somewhere. I've got boxes of comics around here. I don't know which ones are in which box. Yeah, there's some interesting ones here because when before Venom was actually properly introduced in the series, it showed Spider-Man get pushed in front of a train, and nobody knew who did it, and it didn't trigger spider sense. That's one thing that one of Venom's abilities. Spidey's spider sense isn't triggered by Venom, so he can always sneak up on him. He can always set up a trap for him because Spidey will never know it. His instincts won't warn him of the incoming danger. And yeah, this shows some flashbacks when Eddie Brock first merged with the symbiote and became such a sadistic villain. There's lots of great storylines in here. Even some prequel comics that take place before he was actually introduced, and some in between. There's one here that's in between issues 316 and 317, I believe. Both of those are found in this one, by the way. Where he was hitchhiking, and I guess they end up at a diner, and a bunch of people are planning on robbing it and just causing panic and hurting innocent people. And Eddie Brock turns into Venom and just totally wipes them out. He just beats the crap out of those people, and rightfully so. So yeah, you can kind of consider him like an anti-hero. He's just after Spider-Man. He's not out to cause chaos or anything. I really like the issues where he kind of uses his powers for good, and he should just get over his vendetta against Spider-Man. I mean, he just enjoy his new powers and use them for good, But he's pretty obsessed with taking down the web-slinging hero. Yeah, Spider-Man's. I love reading Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a superhero we can all kind of relate to. He's just a regular guy, working regular jobs, struggling to make ends meet, relationship issues. He was an outcast in school. Somebody like Batman, Bruce Wayne, a millionaire who's rich and powerful and famous and owns his own company. Not many of us can relate to that, but Peter Parker's a very relatable, very realistic person that I've always enjoyed reading his stories the most. Though Batman is probably my favorite, Spidey being my second favorite, but I've always enjoyed reading Spidey's the most because I kind of relate to him a lot more. His situations pertain a lot more to a realistic average Joe type person. And yeah, as I said, Venom's definitely stronger than Spidey, so he has to really use his smarts and skills and experience, his tactics against Venom. physical force, hand-to-hand combat, Spidey will probably lose every time, especially since, as I already mentioned, Venom doesn't trigger his Spidey sense. But yeah, what else can I say? It's definitely a great read. There's also some other characters in here. We see appearances by the Human Torch and Daredevil, Silver Sable, the Black Cat. As I said, the birth of Carnage is shown in this book. Definitely a great read. Lots of great stories. But yeah, definitely read this one first, Birth of Venom. Though I definitely recommend this one more since it has a lot more better, entertaining stories. However, sadly there's no illustrations by Todd McFarlane. Though my favorite favorite artist in this one's probably Eric Larson. He has some great illustrations. Most of it's written by David Michelini and Peter David. Yeah, the majority of these stories are written by those two. And I think Eric Larson drew, I think he did most of the illustrations as well. Yeah, a lot of talent behind these. Of course, they're presented by the man himself, Stan Lee, who's just a legend. But yeah, Venom's a great villain. Hopefully we'll see a properly done live-action movie version of the character. I would really love that. But yeah, I definitely recommend those two great books. And so I hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Maybe check out some of my other reviews. I like to do some more of my favorite comic books and story arcs in the future. I already reviewed the Batman Killing Joke graphic novel. There's a lot of other Batman stories I'd like to get to. Long Halloween and Dark Knight Returns and Year One and Man Who Laughs. There's just so many great Batman works out there that I'd like to cover eventually. And some more Spider-Man stories as well. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and until next time, this has been Hellhound's Reviews. I'm Hellhound, and, well, later.